Welcome to Itasca Park in September. Today on this beautiful September fall day, we're going to take a trip around Itasca Park, starting with the headwaters, then the fire tower, and then the evening interpretive trail hike. As we drove around the park, you'll notice there were hundreds of bicycles. We were all there to see the same thing, the beautiful fall colors. We arrived fairly early Saturday morning at the headwaters because we anticipated a lot of people on this beautiful clear blue sky day.
We were going down to Mississippi for like almost all night. Or maybe not all night.
It was quite a while. Yeah, that's a fun place.
When I arrived at the headwaters, I had no idea there'd be so many people there already, testing the waters and their balance.
Let's try swimming.
We stayed in the French Quarter. Got it. And we're just going.
Yeah, the funny thing was the lady that
Want to keep the fall colors.
oh, sure.
Only got a short window.
Yep. Well, I think they peaked on Thursday.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Hey, go fast.
After we left the headwaters, we took Wilderness Drive on the way to the fire tower with a few stops in between. Once you parked your car in the parking lot, it was about a half-a-mile hike uphill to the fire tower. Today we took the Jeep up because we had to haul a lot of display equipment. Some call this the walk in the tunnel of color on the way up to the Ayton Heights Fire Tower at Itasca Park.
Yeah, Tom, turning out here too?
Were you at the Beltrami County Fair at the fire tower? Okay. No, it's dead. It's dead.
So, if you're wanted someplace, turn around.
Better hide, Adam. Nice bear. Nice bear.
Okay, thanks.
Come on,
Ah, God. Where are you from?
Fargo.
Fargo. A lot of people from Fargo here yesterday.
Fargo, Harwood.
Yep.
Fargo, Howard. Okay. This your first time here?
We've been here before.
Oh,
We
okay.
were here when
When
he
I
was third grade,
probably first
maybe?
grade, second grade.
Okay. What's your first name?
Tony
What's your last name?
Owens.
I didn't want to confuse you by asking for both names at once.
I got a couple names.
Okay. All right. A lot of people like it.
Oh, you're fine.
I'll just let the camera run. Okay, who's got a camera?
I've got a camera.
I've got one too.
Yours or mine?
Oh yeah, that's just there. Dave, get in here. Here. No, I want you here. Be a nice picture there.
Welcome to Ayton Heights Fire Tower here in Itasca Park. And I have a little explanation to do about the fire tower. You're looking at a map called a crossing map, and each compass rose on here is a fire tower, 1 over 10 square miles. There's approximately 121 fire towers in Minnesota. 10, 15 still stand today. The one in Pequot Lakes is going to be used for fire detection starting this fall. Fire detection means...
They do it here! They do it here!
You know what sundials are made out of?
The reason for the line is that only so many people could climb the tower at one time. It has to do with the loading of the tower.
Should I say something?
Yeah, you can say that. Hi, Mom, or something. Hi, friends.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. That's good. Okay.
You brought us all the way up
Well, if you didn't have a chance to get to the park this weekend when the leaves peeked out, this is what it looked like from the top of the fire tower. Just a spectacular view. Well, there was a bit of a wait to climb the tower, up to a half hour and sometimes a little more. Over 500 people came up on Saturday and 500 came up on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Ben Roth. I live in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota.
Is this your first time on the fire tower?
Yeah, it is.
Did you go to the top?
Yep.
Good for you. Yan?
I'm Libby Jordan. I'm from Detroit Lakes as well. It's my third time going up a fire tower.
Oh, yeah.
Just as beautiful as ever. My name is Natalie Roth. I'm from Detroit Lakes as well. And this was my first experience climbing up that too.
Oh, you going to do it again?
Yes.
Today?
Probably not. Not today, but another beautiful day, yes.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome to Itasca Park.
Say it in Mandarin.
欢迎来到这什么公园？Itasca 公园。欢迎中国人都来。
What?
I say welcome all of Chinese.
Okay.
Here.
Welcome to Itasca Park. All right.
All right.
We got it.
Welcome to here. Itasca Park.
Boo.
一定要上这个塔上来。
Boo. Little one.
嗨，
哈哈。
一定要去爬一下那个塔。
India.
Oh, India?
Yeah.
You on vacation or are you working here or what?
We work here. My parents are visiting us here.
Well, welcome to Minnesota.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful cabin. That is a beautiful cabin.
After I left the fire tower, I went over to the Douglas Lodge to get a bite to eat, but I was not the only one there. It was quite a crowd and about a half-hour wait. So I decided to look around and then come back later. It was back to the Jacob V. Bauer Visitor Center for the 7th annual Autumn Lantern Lit Hike. This year's theme is Mississippi River Ramblings. The hike will follow the Mahadizia Trail. Mahadizia means to start a journey in Ojibwe. If you've never been to the Jacob V. Bauer Visitor Center before, this quick walkthrough will give you some idea of what you can see inside. There's a great deal to read, so take your time going through the facility. At the Visitor Center, we're going to do a pre-walkthrough to see what's going on before the sun goes down and gets too dark, and then follow the guide later.
Thanks, Dave, for joining us here at Pilot Town, Louisiana.
What's happening?
We're the first stop, and Jessica and Chris are going to be paddling the length of the Mississippi, and I will be the headwaters post, and I'm doubting them, basically, on how they'll do.
We're going to be people that
We are the
we
novice
think we know what we're
canoers.
doing, canoeing, but we really have no idea how long the Mississippi River is, anything like that. So the headwaters post is giving us information.
I'm Paul Bunyan, and this is Big Blue Ox, and we're here standing in downtown Bemidji.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about forest management and the legend of Paul Bunyan today.
All right, we're in Red Wing, Minnesota, and we're talking about the early settlers, the
Early explorers too.
Yep, the limestone quarries and the clay pits in the area.
Dick and I have been floating on a raft. We're a few days south of St. Louis, and we've been singing songs about the Mississippi River that we love. Like with Mississippi Blues, what I started with. And you had a couple that you liked.
Yeah, we do Roll On Mississippi and Mississippi Mud.
And we've been singing that old Mississippi Mud from the 20s. We sang Old Man River, which is also from 1927. We're just doing little snatches of each song.
We're going to follow
And
the
at the end,
second
if
group
people want
out,
to, we'll have time
and we'll
to
meet
do
the
them all
interpreter
way
on the
through.
trail, and she'll explain what's going on. We want to do it early so we have some light so we can videotape this.
He's coming. He'll come. He'll get caught up.
Welcome everyone. My name is Kathy Beaulieu, and I'm going to guide you on tonight's lantern hike. We're going to journey through Itasca State Park's woods and learn about the Mississippi River. No, Chris. I think that's the front of the canoe.
No, no, no. That's the front of the canoe. You can't get your feet in there. That's too small of a space.
Well, folks, I've been standing here since the 1930s, and I think I've seen it all as people head down the Mississippi River. They've canoed it, kayaked it, they've hiked it and biked it, and they've driven down their cars. In fact, even just a few weeks ago, we had a group of bikers tow a 350-pound player piano down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Ah, this should be a piece of cake. No problem floating down to the Gulf of Mexico.
They think it's so easy now, with this nice open path and open channel. But in about 2 miles, they'll run into a mess of wild rice and beaver dams. And the best part is, when they start following a beaver channel instead of the actual Mississippi and get lost in a swamp.
What? I thought you told me this was going to be an easy paddle. So, Chris, how long is it going to take us?
Well, 2 guys did it in 18 days, 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we should be able to do that, no problem.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but those two were breaking a Guinness Book of World Records. And they paddled non-stop, continuously on the river at a speed of 6 miles an hour. The Mississippi averages a speed of only 1.2 miles an hour, and it would take you 90 days to travel the length if you go at that speed. And by the looks of you two, I think it'll take that long.
Well, it's only 694 miles.
What? It's 694 miles?
No. That is 694 miles just in Minnesota. The entire length of the river is 2,318 miles.
What? 2,318 miles?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your sign says it's 2,552. You need to post an update. Bada boom.
Wah, wah, wah. Like I haven't heard that one before. I haven't been able to update my status since the 1930s. And in the 1940s, the Army Corps of Engineers straightened the river for navigation and eliminated 160 miles of the Mississippi.
Oh boy, I don't know if we can do this.
It's gonna be fine. Come on, it's getting late. We gotta get going.
Okay, wait, before we leave, I want to update my Facebook status.
All right.
Can you take a picture of us? Sure. Thanks.
Got it.
Oh, awesome. Great. Off to the Gulf of Mexico. Next stop, Bemidji.
With my double-blade axe and my hobnail boots, I go where the cinders fall. When there's work to be done, don't mess around, just sing right out for Paul. Hey, Paul, boys, Paul Bunyan. He's 63 at Candle Tower, with his feet on the ground and his head in the sky. Hey, Paul, Bunyan.
Well, hello everyone. I see you're floating down the Mississippi River. That must mean you're up at that Lake Itasca. You remember where that is, babe, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's where we were wrestling around and you pushed my face and horns in the mud. We created that lake. They should call it Babe the Blue Ox Lake.
Well, the Ojibwe did name the lake for its shape. They called it Elk Lake, the source of the Mississippi River.
But I'm not an elk, I'm an ox.
Well, that's neither here nor there, since the lake was renamed Itasca by the explorers Schoolcraft. And the mighty Mississippi leaves that little lake and flows all the way north up here to Lake Bemidji.
Yep, here we stand in downtown Bemidji, first city along the Mississippi River. Paul, do you remember when this lake was covered with floating logs?
I sure do. We used to send millions of board feet of logs down the river to sawmills. That was back when the state and country were still growing, and we were using the timber to build homes, railroads, bridges, and cities.
Those were the good old days, Paul. Do you remember straightening out stretches of the river so the logs wouldn't get caught up in the sharp bends?
I would throw that big old chain around your horns and you would pull those riverbeds straight. We used a whole string of dams along the river to hold back water, and when we opened those gates and the river rushed through,
ooh-wee!
Those logs would rush straight into Lake Bemidji.
Ah, isn't that how Lake Bemidji got its name, because of the river current flowing through the lake?
Yes, babe, you're right. The Ojibwe called it Bemidigamog, which means a lake with river or current flowing through it. It was the early explorers in the 1830s that called it Bemidji.
Gee, Paul, we sure did cut down a lot of the forest. And after you finished stomping out all those stumps in North and South Dakota, we headed out west to find more timber. If it wasn't for your longing heart for your girlfriend Lucette, we might still be out west.
Well, the railroads came and new forest management practices changed the old ways of logging. Besides, Lucette said she wouldn't marry me because I left the forest such a mess. She said if I was to show her love, I had to start planting trees where I cut them.
Lucette's idea about leaving trees around lakes and streams sure is a good one. Lake Bemidji sure looks nice with all these trees around it. Lucette wanted you to be an all-around man of the woods, Paul. A real, true forester.
Speaking of Lucette, she's got dinner ready, so we better get a move on. Sing them a tune to send them on their way, babe.
You got it.
Well, folks, enjoy your float down the river.
He walked back over the stumps he cut and stomped them out of sight. Thanks, Paul. Wow, happy. Paul Bunyan.
Good job, guys.
Great.
Oh, Alicia, my feet are killing me.
Well, why'd you wear boots in a canoe anyway?
Because we're coming up on my hometown of Red Wing. So, Red Wing boots, you know, the finest boots in the world. Red Wing is home of the Red Wing Shoe Company.
Well, my feet aren't going to hurt because I brought with Minnetonka moccasins from my friend Trent, who's from Minnetonka.
Ah, very funny.
Well, you should just get your bright boots back in the canoe anyway. You know you're not supposed to have your legs outside the canoe while we're in a lock.
Hey, Alicia, look, it's Barn Bluff.
That looks like the top of a boot to me.
No, not the world's largest boot. The thing next to it, the hill-looking thing, that's Barn Bluff, one of the best-known natural landscapes in Minnesota, especially down near Red Wing.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Are those burial mounds on top?
They sure are. They're from the early prehistoric Mississippi cultures.
Wow, I bet you could see a lot from up there.
You betcha. You sure can. You know those early explorers like Schoolcraft and Zebulon Pike? They often wrote about the beautiful view from up there.
I guess that would be pretty neat because you could see all the steamboats coming upriver.
Funny you should say that. My great-grandparents settled around here, and each spring they would climb up the bluff and look for the first steamboats of the season that were coming up the river.
You know, someone did tell me that there are a lot of natural clay pits in the area. You know, those early settlers probably used those clay pits to make pots. In fact, I hear Red Wing has a stoneware company, so in honor, I brought my crock pot with.
Oh, Alicia, that's lame.
It is not lame. It's lime.
Like this?
No, not like that kind of lime. Lime like as in the stone. I've been reading in my, tour guide book here, and it says Red Wing was home to a lot of lime, and they have about 30 kilns in the area, and those kilns were used to make the raw product into a product we now use in mortar, plaster, and for agricultural uses.
For agricultural uses?
Mm-hmm. They would put it on soil that was too acidic. You see, the lime neutralizes the soil, which makes it able to grow plants on there. All these barges that have been passing us in here are carrying crops from out the Midwest. And I bet you some of those crops had lime on their soils that was probably even from the Red Wing area. And let me tell you, I am sure glad those barges aren't in here right now with us in this lock, because we would be squashed.
Oh, Alicia, don't worry about that. They're not going to let any of those big barges in here while we are.
Well, it was sure hard to get attention of the lockmaster. I mean, I can barely reach the chain.
Well, we're in now, so hold on to the rope, because we don't want to be bouncing around when they're lowering the water.
Mm-hmm. Well, get ready, Megan. The lock gates are ready to open, so let's hang on tight.
Well, listen for one long blow of a horn. That'll let us know when they're going to open the gates.
Well, we'll see you all downriver. Hey, Putz, when we get close to Wabasha, can we stop at the Eagle Center?
Sure we can. Looks like they're going to open the gates. Get ready.
All right. Paddle! Paddle!
Well, Dick and I have been floating on a raft. We're a few days south of St. Louis, and we've been singing songs about the Mississippi River that we love. Like with Mississippi Blues, what I started with.
Do you realize how many songs have been written about the Mississippi River? Just like this one from Showboat.
Oh, yeah. Old Man River, that old man river, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, he keeps on rolling along.
Old Man River.
Old Man River. You know, I'm sure glad we came on this trip, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so nice being on the river, but when I'm away, I get so lonesome for that river. I'm growing tired of the big city lights, tired of the glamour and tired of the sights. In all my dreams I am roaming once more, back to my home on the old river shore. I am sad and weary, far away from home, miss the Mississippi and you, dear. Days are dark and dreary, everywhere I roam, miss the Mississippi and you. Roaming the wide world over, all is alone and blue, blue. Nothing seems to cheer me under heaven's dome. Miss the Mississippi and you. You know, I'm always happier when I'm on the river with all the birds and the animals, but when you focus on the music, there's been so much traveling and exploring, so much written about and sung about the river. It's really a culture all its own, isn't it?
Indeed it is. It's you know, traveling on this river down the raft, or traveling on the raft down the river. Either way, you get wet one way and the other way you don't. In any event, it kind of reminds me of those old Mark Twain stories and the Charlie Pride song, Roll On Mississippi.
When the world's spinning round too fast for me and I need a place to dream, so I come to your banks, sit in your shade, relive the memories, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. Roll on, Mississippi, make me feel like a child again. Roll on, Mississippi, carry me home. huh? Lorraine gets to be here every day, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't want to forget my favorite song. You know, it was written in the 20s, but it was made famous by the Muppets.
Everybody remember that?
Yeah.
Mississippi Mud. When the sun goes down, the tide goes out, people gather around and they all begin to shout. Hey, hey, Uncle Johnny, it's a beat to beat your feet on the Mississippi Mud. It's a beat to beat your feet on the Mississippi Mud. Happy as a crowd, chewing on his bud. It's a beat to beat on the Mississippi Mud.
You know, we could sit here and riding down this raft and play these songs for a really long time.
Yep,
But I think we need to let you
I think we better let you get on rolling. It's a long way to New Orleans, and as you're rolling down the river, please feel it free to sing along. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. I never lost the Mississippi, worried about the way things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, brown river keep on burning.
Oh, it's beautiful down here. Hi, welcome to Pilot Town, Louisiana. I finished my trip down the Mississippi River a couple days ago. I've been hanging out here and enjoying some Louisiana tea. I think they make it out of swamp water, but it's pretty good. It really is. Whew. I'm glad to see you folks made it down too. Wow. I've been sitting there contemplating that long trip I took, paddling down the Mississippi River. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I hit New Orleans, or as the locals say, New Orleans, I thought I was done with my paddle. But no, I still had another 100 miles to go to get to where the Mississippi River enters the Gulf of Mexico. And did you know, I didn't know that till I got there, that's called the head of passes, where the Mississippi enters the Gulf of Mexico. Kind of interesting stuff I've learned. Well, then I paddled back upstream, and we're here at Pilot Town, Louisiana right now. Pilot Town is the last community you will find before it enters the Gulf of Mexico, before the Mississippi River enters the Gulf of Mexico. It's an interesting town, and it's appropriately named because this area is populated with river pilots. River pilots are very knowledgeable about the width and the depth and the hazards. Some of these old salts are salt of the earth. I've been spending a couple days with them. They're the ones who set me up with this Louisiana tea. They have very intimate knowledge of the hazards associated with traveling the Mississippi River down here. Ocean-going vessels, as they come up from all over the world, are required to have a river pilot join their ship and take over the navigation because of the importance of their knowledge. This place changes a lot down here. The river channel, the deltas have changed 7 times over the course of history. The main channel of the Mississippi, which most of you took to get here, and as I did, has changed over 30 times. So having a river pilot on your ocean-going vessel is very important. It really is. In fact, I think I see one. There's one now. I can't tell the flag of the country, but they come from all over the place. Yes, to travel up and enter ports. Now, as I mentioned before, I've been sitting here contemplating my trip down the Mississippi and all the things I saw and experienced. I saw bald cypress trees. Those were cool. Sea turtles. Yes, sea turtles can be found in the Mississippi River down here. Alligators, everyone's favorite. Everyone thinks of alligators being down here in Louisiana where we're at, but they've been found as far north as Arkansas. And of course the brown pelican. The bird life I saw as I traveled down the Mississippi was just spectacular. In fact, here in Louisiana, half of the bird species in North America can be found at some point during the year. Now, I've got quite a bird list developed, but what am I seeing over there? What am I seeing? What is that? What? Does anybody know what that is? Let me check my book here. It's a piping plover. A lot of people call it a plover because of the way it's spelled, but it's actually plover, like the word lover. I'll add that one to my list. I was looking for those nests of the piping plover up on Garden Island in Lake of the Woods, way up in northern Minnesota last year, near the Canadian border. Yeah, boy, I keep thinking about the distance I traveled to get here, as you all did too. 2,718 miles to get to the head of passes where the Mississippi enters the Gulf of Mexico. But then I had to paddle back up here to Pilot Town. So I put on like 2,500 miles in my canoe. Yeah, that was a stretch. You know, and I think about all the towns or in the states I went through, starting with Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, where alligators can be found, Mississippi, and of course here in Louisiana, Pilot Town, Louisiana, where we're at right now. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing trip. You know, I've been hanging out here in Pilot Town with the river pilots. We've been talking and sharing stories, and they did not believe me that up there at that Lake Itasca in Minnesota, they talk about river speed, and they call it the flow of the river. You got to go with the flow. And I told them, I spoke to a naturalist up there at Itasca State Park, and they told me the river flow coming out of the headwaters was 20 to 40 gallons per second. Seems like a lot of water. But down here in Pilot Town, Louisiana, where we're standing right now, it's 4.5 to 5.5 million gallons of water per second. That's a lot of water flowing. You really got to go with the flow down here. No doubt. Well, I tell you what, I've been relaxing here for a couple days since I ended my trip. I'm kind of missing Minnesota. And I've heard down here they've got these paddle boats that are run by steam. Oh, there's one now. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go buy a ticket and take the easy way back up north. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That'd probably be a good idea. You folks, since you just arrived here, you look awfully tired. I would suggest you go get some rest. Go find a nice place and find yourself some Louisiana tea. I'll see you on the river.
Was I laying back there?
Good job. Nice job. Really, really good. Oh, she's singing in here? She's supposed to be singing in here, and Dean says she's quite good. She is good.
Who's that?
Lori Goulet. You've heard her sing?
Goulet?
She's good. Yeah, she's Richard will find out following her then. He does pretty good.
Red like poison in my blood. And one more night could kill me, baby. One is one too many. One more is never enough. 30 days and 30 nights been put
The lantern hikes went on until the evening, until after dark. In the meantime, in the Jacob Bauer Visitor Center, there were activities and things for the kids to do. Sandra, the assistant naturalist, was trying to tell me what was taking place on the tour, but it was so noisy in there, it was really quite hard to hear. She basically said over 300 people had signed up for the lantern walk.